전투 준비.
폭탄을 배달해서 로봇을 고철로 만들고 돈까지 받다니 아무 마음에 들어.
적의 공격까지 30초.
So this is a review of your Roadhog on Kings Row.
어우 기분 세진다.
4, 3, 2, 1. 공격이 시작됩니다. A 거점을 수비하십시오.
So it seems like you understand it from the very beginning, but as a Roadhog, a big part of your job, especially in a comp like this where we're running the okay. The Junkrat, the Hog, and the Hanzo. Those are all three big shield break characters a lot of the time. And so running into the opponent's Orisa, a lot of you guys' time is going to be spent breaking that shield so that you can get more value. In a more organized setting, the Reaper on their side would be a Junkrat, and he would be trying to spam from behind their Orisa shield. So once that went down, he would have to play more passively around geometry. The Ashe probably is going to be sitting behind the Orisa shield or sitting up on the sniper ledge up there. If she's playing behind the Orisa shield, once that's pressured down, she has to rotate around. So oh god. Okay. So you start off with Welcome Fire. That is just really unlucky. The Zarya got a perfectly timed bubble against your hook. She saw the people coming in and knew that you would go for the combo. You're breaking the shield. Did your Orisa have a shield cooldown? So she has her shield on 2 seconds. The enemy Orisa has it on 1 second. Okay, I thought the enemy Orisa had a longer amount of time before her next shield was ready, but I guess not. So it looks like you're going to begin rotating around that shield. Orisa is still on there, so you're returning to her now, but make sure you keep eyes on her. You can burst it down really quickly, even though you do have the 600 health. The new halt is coming out. That's good. You're showing an alternate or maintenance fires. You had your heals up there, you shouldn't have died. He's left. You can slip for your immediately open up. You should. Okay, when that Orisa shield goes down, you should back off to this edge of the hotel, or even inside, if you want. And if you do go inside, you should rotate all the way through and take this corner from them. But probably what I would do is just come back and hold on this corner, since you don't have the shield for another like 4 seconds, I don't think. Yeah, 3 seconds. So instead you continue walking out in the open. You get punished for it, then you make it come down and you go down immediately before you can even react with heals.
저음을 멈추십시오.
The colors are throwing me off. I thought that there was a Junkrat just like another color. You should be reloading here. Unless you're trying to finish someone off as a Roadhog, you should always have at least 2 ammo in your scrap gun. So that means that you have the opportunity to... That means you have the opportunity to throw the alternate fire, the hook, and then the primary fire and melee, and that's almost always enough to get a one-shot combo. So you lead the hook with the alternate fire, and like the moment after you hook. You probably know that though. So you back off and reload here.
Soldier 76. 작전
So you should reload. Ideally you would have hit the hook on the Zarya, and you would have had basically you would have had essentially 3 ammo left after the combo, so the alternate fire, the hook, the primary fire, the melee. And that would probably get her down to about 100 health, 150 health maybe. And you should be able to use the remaining 3 ammo in your weapon to continue pushing forward and finish her off. Especially since she was overextended there and didn't have her personal bubble up. She was in a really bad position and could have gotten punished for it, but she wasn't. Not much to that, but I'm just guessing you were hoping something was there. You've got to land over like that. That was nice open.
A 거점을 점령하세요. 화물을 호위하십시오.
If I remember correctly, I was screaming you to go forward. So what I wanted you to do there, because they're not all back yet, and the Reaper's over here. That's not even Reaper. Okay, we found another one, boys. They're not all back. We're fighting essentially a 6v4 if everyone had pushed up. There's probably going to be one person at least staying back on cart, so a 5v4, but that's still a good situation for us. The soldier, yeah, so he's in position. The only one staying on cart is Arisa. So I wanted you to push up through cafe or through library and just walk past the Orisa shield. And I had nano up. I was going to let you just put in one fire and then pull a whole hog. And that would eliminate this corner for the defense to hold. It would make it not an option anymore. If the Orisa's dead, they can make the hold. But you didn't do that, instead you decided to back off, so. We end up stalling out here for a long time, and I finally know you shoot straight to the east. And it's a bad day.
내면의 힘을 폭발시켜라.
That was really good. So you waited until he started to use Take a Breather. You put him under pressure with normal fire to force out the heals from him. And then once you used it, you used your hook to interrupt it. That's really smart. You get slapped up normally and okay, the closure doesn't finish you off hard. That's good. That's better than one.
이동하시는 걸 추천합니다. 방벽기로 이동하십시오. 안녕하세요.
If right there when you had to take a breather.
안녕하세요.
You walk out. You start getting down really low, really fast. The Ash gets a headshot on you, and Roadhog gets a solid right click on you. So you go down to like 76 health. If the Ash hit another headshot on you right there, before like the moment you started healing, you would have been dead. You had 76 health or something. And Take a Breather reduces damage by 50%. But if she hits you before the actual healing starts and while the animation is still going off, that's still doing 75 or 85 damage, I think. Yeah, 85 damage because a headshot from Ash normally is 170 damage, and this is well within her fall off range. So you're gonna get taken out by that headshot. And you continue looking at them. What you should do is just look away. Look away and turn the opposite direction and look down, and that hides your head hitbox almost. See, like, right here, your head hitbox is significantly smaller. Especially on the Ash, because she's on a slight downward angle. So looking up at you, your head is almost completely invisible. So it makes it much more difficult to land that headshot, and you have a much greater chance at actually surviving that. I don't know why you did the Roadhog right there. If you could have stepped back like one step and hooked the Roadhog into your entire team. Easy. He walks out in the middle of the ocean for some reason. It's an easy hook. Your hook is clearly off cooldown. Take one step back so he doesn't have time to get behind the shield, throw the hook out, and whip your camera to the side, and that makes him pull like a little bit further, because it wants to pull him in front of your body, right? So if you turn it, makes him get drawn a little bit further into your team. Allocate everyone over. That's a lot. So it's pressure dead right there. The anti would and they end up nanoing the hog. That didn't die. And they roll and smoke us. I know you were anti there, but if you aren't, you already have your whole hog, so you don't need the ult charge. I don't have nano yet. Our Lucio does have some barrier, so in that situation, don't heal up if you aren't antied. Just let me top you off, because you're not under any immediate pressure. If you are being pressured, of course, heal. But we weren't in a mid fight; we were still posturing right there.
멈추십시오.
That was bad. That was a bit of a throw, my guy. Okay. What was that hook for? What did you... if you aren't sure you're going to get there... If you don't... I don't want to say if you're not sure, because then you just don't throw a hook, because there's a possibility you don't land it, but... unless there's reason to believe that you will get value out of a hook, don't throw it. Playing your opponents with your cooldowns is how you win games. It's not mechanical aim. Knowing your kit better than the opponent is how you win games. So the Reaper hasn't ulted all game, I don't think, or if he has, it was a long time ago at this point. And he's had at least all of Streets to charge it up. So surely he has it. We have to know that right now. That should have been tracked. Obviously, we don't make callouts because this was a gold game. But in your head, you should probably be thinking, okay, the Reaper has ult. I don't think that I've seen the Roadhog ult in a long time either. We know that the Ashe just bobbed. And the rally is kind of a gray area. It's difficult to know because you don't, unless you're tracking when she's actually getting her Inspire proxy up. But yeah, so you should know that the Reaper is looking for a Blossom right now. I think that you spy checked, or you didn't really spy check, but you heard something up here earlier because you threw a hook up here. The hook before this one, you threw up there. So in your head, you should definitely know, okay, the Reaper's up there, he's looking for the Death Blossom. But instead of saving your hook to pull him out of that, you throw it at a wall. And it gets no value. Everyone dies.
전술 조준기 준비 완료. 화물이 왜 멈췄지?
We're up 1 right now. We got their Ana and their Hog, but they got our Junkrat. We still have everything up here that we need. You try to win the rest of it, she's fortified. I don't know if you intended to get the break for that, or if you just didn't see the rest wasn't fortified, but there's never try to never waste your CC cooldown on a fortified Orisa. Because it's just gonna do nothing. They switched onto the Wrecking Ball right now. But stalled. That was a good one. You read the trajectory. You read the pile drive. You knew where it was coming down. You knew the timing of it. They should have died there. That was easy, though. That was That's just so unlucky. Probably died either way in this situation, no matter what you did.
다시 설쳐볼까?
화물을 계속 움직여야 해.
남은 시간
You have whole hog. The next hook you should get should be, yeah, you're hooking B-Reaser right now. So hopefully what you do, you put in a normal primary fire, and then whole hog. Okay, you get the kill anyway. Generally, when you a whole hog isn't terribly valuable. It isn't a very good ult. You honestly, most of the time, rather not be in it than be in it because you can't heal. So you're very vulnerable, and it doesn't do a ton of damage unless you're extremely up close. So what I do is, when I have whole hog up, I just hook a tank instead of a squishy that I know I wouldn't normally be able to get an insta-kill on. And I use the primary fire and immediately follow it up with a whole hog, and that pretty much guarantees the kill, unless they get, like, a nano or something, for example.
다시 설쳐볼까?
남은 시간 20초.
시간은 금이라고 친구. 그리고 우린 항상 직전이야. 공격!
내면의 힘을 폭발시켜. 좀 멈추십시오.
It's not easy to land shots on small targets with Hog. And especially when there's a Reaper, so you're probably not going to be alive for long. The Reaper should be targeting you. He has Discord on him, so he needs to be getting all the healing that he can get, and a big part of his healing comes from the self-healing. So he should be firing into you, and it looks like that's what he's doing right now. Your primary focus, because you don't have... Well, okay, you didn't have hook up. It looks like it just came back on. You should turn on the Orisa. That should be your primary target. She moves slower while firing, and she's extremely large. Now you have hook up, so you can just target a squishy or weird.
이게 도움이 될 거지. 점수 3대 0. 공수 변경.
나는 재앙을 불러.
기다리는 건 내 취향이 아니야.
적의 공격까지 30초. 오, 4, 3, 1. 공격이 시작됩니다. A 거점을 수비하십시오.
완전히 치유된다. 파도 활성화. 파도 활성화. 여기로 들어와.
하라. 작전 개시.
When you get pinned, you heal up because you're low, so that's all good. You see the Rhine is one though, and you have whole hog. You can interrupt so you can interrupt healing. You can cancel the animation by using whole hog. It doesn't really cancel the animation. It just cancels the ability. So it goes on the cooldown, and you need whatever you're at. You stop healing yourself. But you can interrupt it with whole hog. And you see the Rhine is at 1. He isn't using shield here for a second. Right here, when he loses the armor, whole hog, it does pellet damage. So the damage that it does is significantly, it's reduced by about 50% by armor. So as soon as he gets below armor level, whole hog him. Maybe spend a second to try and wrap around to the left, so over here, so that you have a better angle to push him into the wall and he doesn't go flying quite as quickly. But otherwise, just use it. Finishing off the ride means it won't fight while we still have our but until he gets to the back off, keep using the whole hog to push back the hog, which is also a get we going on Orisa, you have all your droids, actually activate it. Instead you missed out on
넌 강해진다. 돌격해.
치료해주지.
So at this point it's only you and Bap. And Farah, okay. The nano wears off, but instead of continuing back up, they're all alive, keep in mind. I think several of them are walking back, but they're going to be back much sooner than the rest of your team is. So the Zarya is at first choke. I didn't see the Ryan. I'm not sure where he is. He must be. Where is he? Okay, so he's coming out of the weird exit for some reason. Yeah. But we're still all respawning, so he's going to be back much earlier. You should back off immediately, because it's a 3v3, but they have both of their healers, I think. They have an Ana and a Zen both just hard pocketing the soldiers, so he's free to put out as much damage as he wants. You don't have Hook. So yeah, so you're not gonna get a kill on him before he gets sealed up. You just need to back up. Instead, you stick around for a little bit longer, and you get antied, and the soldier is able to just rip through you. And that caused, we could have held. Where are we? Okay. So the McCree isn't going to get much value in this fight if we take it. But I'm going to be pretty effective still because I can just scope in from way back. If you hadn't died, we may have been... what is the Baptiste doing? Okay. You should have backed out to this corner and tried to contest it from, like, right in this position, where they have to come out into the open. You would have had your hook by the time that the cart had made it to this point. So it would have been you, the Baptiste, and the Farah, ideally. I'd say that. The Farah is dead as well, though. She should have backed up as well. Instead, I think she just continued hovering. Let me go here. Okay, no, the Farah actually did back up. She probably should have, like, just hit it. She tried to get it. We may have been able to take a fight right here. If you just stood behind this wall and continued contesting it, if the soldier walked out, hook him and kill him. It's easy. But you can't really take damage unless they put themselves at risk if you just stand right here, and you're going to be contesting the payload. That gives our Orisa enough time to get back, and we're able to have, like, one more real fight with a good choke to hold them at. Instead, we end up having to hold it right here at the very end of point B, and you're still walking back from spawn, and you're not gonna get any value until you're at least, like, up here. So it's gonna be at least 6 or 7 seconds, right? And we end up just not contesting at all, I think. Yeah.
성과가 떠오르. 뭐든 해봐.
Again, your team backs up, but you don't really seem to get the memo.
뭐든 해봐. 하늘에서 잠이 오지?
So at this point, immediately after the grab expires, everyone is backing up, but you stay up there. That's not necessarily the wrong thing to do. In fact, I think that you probably are the only one who made the correct decision. But because everyone else made the wrong decision, you have to just kind of go along with it, because that's just how it goes. The Mercury tries to flash this, but he misses it, it looks like, which sucks. But, you try to stay up and contest the Bob, which you're just not going to be able to do. And you die.
준비 끝. 루시오 드디어 출전합니다. 엄살 부리지 마.
눈동자로 들어가시. 최고 승력.
동시 처치.
Okay. Okay.
최고 승력.
Okay, so stalling on ball, you do a good job overall. But while they're still trying to fight and win this, just jump up on top of the payload while you're just shooting at them, and jump off of it and pile drive. You don't have to be very high at all. It has to be just barely over normal jump height for pile driver to actually activate. So just run up on top of that, and that knocks them up in a very predictable animation. The Mei can get the freeze more easily without them having time to run away. The Doomfist can get a big uppercut on them to combo with that, or a Seismic Slam. And Shady Spore can do nothing. But, yeah. So it makes it a lot more likely that you'll be able to actually confirm a kill instead of just stalling and nothing else. Even right there, other Hammond pile drive. You can use your own pile drive while you're up in the air, and it will activate, and it knocks their Hammond up, and you could probably confirm a kill on them.
전투 준비 완료.
So you play aggressively with your grab on them, which is fine. You tail driver on the Hammond. Right now, while you're shooting at him, you need to be backing up and hiding like right here. That way, if the enemy continues to push forward, you have this option to wrap around and be in cover. And if they try to take this angle on you, you're able to come back out here. But instead you stand out here, so no matter where you go, they're going to have an angle on you for a lot longer than if you were standing like right here. Especially because I think you continue moving out. Yeah, so you move even further into the lifestyle line. So they're all shooting at you. They have Discord on you. You die. That was a big feed.
강해진 기분입니다. 심지어 나도 안 났는데. 시스템 초기화 완료. 최고 속도.
That was bad. Okay. If you wanted to CC the Reinhardt, what you should have done, you should have just looked up at the ceiling.
이동 중.
Instead of attaching to the wall, look up at the ceiling and just swing from. I'm pretty sure you. Okay, if you can't hit the ceiling, it looks like it's quite far away. I don't know if you can get that with grappling hook, but you could have hooked on here while you were still in this position. You know that the Rhine is walled off. You saw the animation. That's why you're starting to go into roll. And honestly, try not to knock him back, because that makes it more difficult for your team to get the kill on him. But do go up above him and get a pile drive. I think that you have that off of cooldown right now. Yeah, so you have a pile driver. If you knock him up, he dies. Period. If he doesn't, we're just bad. He's already like somewhat low health, and he's very low shield. But instead, you actually end up knocking him back to the safety of the team, where he's able to recharge his shield and you get
뭐든
build up
해봐.
on health.
잠깐 눈
접근 금지. 접근 금지. 목표를 포착.
At that point, there was nothing that you could have done to fix that. I don't think.
오, 제대로 놀아보자.
He's a bad pile driver. You should have. Okay. Right there. Too hard broken. But what you could have done? He's got the healing station down, but that's like really slow. I think it's something like 40 heals per second, roughly. You're trying to wait on your reload, but it's just not happening. Back up and use your grapple right here on this wall, and just swing into him, because I think it does 40 damage or something. Whatever it is, it's 40 or 50, I think. It would have easily finished him off. Sorry about that. You could have just backed up and used the ball to roll into him and it would have finished him off, I think. And if it didn't, that's just unlucky.
보호막 가동.
치료 실시.
보호막을 가동한다.
You got shredded. Okay.
보호막
You
가동.
don't have shield. It's on like the full cooldown right now. Oops. Yeah, 13 seconds, so you're not gonna have it again in this fight, realistically. Is the health pack open? So you should run and get that health pack, and that would bring you up to like 500 health, right? That way you also have some of your armor back. Right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Ball has armor. So
치료 실시.
instead you go aggressively for grapple, and you don't land the pile driver on the hammer, so I don't think he's gonna die here. Even though he's in. And you get shredded by a Zen with this sword on you and a soldier. Yeah, so the ball's gonna get out fine. I was about to C9, and fortunately the main didn't just get there.
엄살 부리지 마.
시스템 초기화 완료.
That was out of the way. There's nobody running it. I don't know why you need to go there. It is a very long cooldown as far as
괜찮아.
goes.
그 정도는
뒤에 적이다. 치료 실시.
Okay, you actually did. I was gonna say, during downtime,
접근 금지. 접근
really good
금지.
opportunity, get the high ground, and it comes up big.
넌 강해졌다. 돌격해.
수요 확인.
So that was, you carried that fight.
위치 변경 중.
So you should go back up to high ground here. Okay, you should have gotten stuff right there. That would have been really bad. The Iron should have hit asleep on you, and the Reaper would have walled up. Like,
제대로 놀아보자.
so, overall, not bad. Your Hog was pretty good overall. Your Ball could use some work, though. He is quite difficult. It's just a lot of awareness that you need to be able to play him to a high level. You have to be aware of your enemy positioning and their cooldowns a lot of the time, because if you get CC'd, you're dead. Like, you can be going at top speed off of your grappling hook, but if you get shield bashed or if you get slept or whatever, you just stop immediately. You don't have any momentum. It doesn't continue to carry you after you get stunned. You just stop, and then you don't have that mobility cooldown to get out with. So tracking cooldowns and respecting that the opponent is going to land those cooldowns instead of just kind of hoping that they don't will help you climb a lot on a ball, I think.